Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a Cisco Packet Tracer setup video. Cisco Packet Tracer is the best when it comes to CCNA, when it comes to those who are studying for their CCNA. Cisco Packet Tracer, it's easy to set up, it's easy to do your labs, and I would recommend it for anyone who wants to do the CCNA certification. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a registration on the Cisco NetAcad website, because that's where you can download the official Cisco Packet Tracer application. And once you do the registration, we're going to do a download and installation of the Packet Tracer on our PC. And we are going to do a demo lab, which we are just going to use one router, one switch, and one PC, just to show you how you can go about setting up your labs and setting up your devices so that you can do your labs, so that you can do your testing for all the various aspects that you need to know for the CCNA certification. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to google.com and go to Google Cisco Net Academy. We're going to go to courses and Packet Tracer, and we are going to enroll to download Packet Tracer. Okay, so it's going to ask me for some few information. Alright, so it's going to send an email, a verification email to the email I just put in. Alright, once I log in, it's gonna ask me for this information, and I'm just gonna fill it in. Alright, and then once I fill it in, it's gonna give me this launch course, and I'm just gonna launch it, and then I am going to download the Cisco Packet Tracer. So once you're presented with this screen, you go on to the student resources, and then you will find the download and install the latest version of Packet Tracer. So I'm just going to choose the desktop, and currently the latest is the Packet Tracer 7.11 for Windows. And since I'm running on Windows, I can choose that. If you have a 32-bit, you can select the 32-bit. If you are running any version of Linux, I believe Ubuntu will be the best one to run if you want to run the Linux version. So I'm just gonna wait for mine to finish download, and then I'm gonna install. Okay, now my Packet Tracer is finished downloading, and I'm gonna go through the install process. It's very simple. Just click next, 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 install. All right, so once it's finished, we are going to launch. And the first time you launch the Packet Tracer for the first time, it's going to ask you to log in with the details that you have put in when you were doing the setup. So I'm just going to do that right now. All right, fantastic. So now we have our Packet Tracer installed. That was very easy. The download, the registration, the download, and the installation, that's pretty straightforward. Nobody should face any challenges there. So now what we need to do now, as you can see at the bottom, we have some categories. We've got some network devices, end devices, some components, the connections. So you can use Packet Tracer basically specifically for CCNA. You can run your labs using the routers and switches. Although there are some IoT devices in the Packet Tracer, but for this demo lab, we're just going to use one router, one switch, and one PC, just to demonstrate to you how you can drag and drop the devices and do the setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to go click on network devices, and we're going to give in some sub menu options, and we are going to click here and choose a 1941 router. We're just going to drag and drop it on the working area, and we're just going to click on switches, and we're just going to use a generic Cisco 2960 switch. That should be fine for our demo lab. And we're going to choose end devices, and we're going to use a generic PC. I'll just drag two of those. And then for the setup for this particular lab, we are going to use the automatic connections. You just click and click there and click there. That should be the same. But when you're now practicing your CCNA, say that you will use a straight through cable or you will use a crossover cable, but it's all the same since this is a demo lab setup. So what we're going to do for this network is we're going to use the 192.168.1.0 network, and it's going to be a /24. And our router, we're going to give it 192.168.1.1, and our switch, we're going to give it 192.168.1.2, PC0 192.168.1.3, PC4 192.168.1.4, and the default gateway, we're just going to give it our router that we have put in. Now for the PCs, it's simple and straightforward. You just click on the PC and you go on config, fast Ethernet 0, and you type in the IP address 192.168.1.3. The subnet mask will fill in for you. We're gonna go on global, and we're gonna set the gateway 192.168.1.1. all right, and that should be it. We're gonna do the same config. We're gonna do 1.4. default subnet mask comes in automatically. Default gateway 1.1. For the purposes of this lab, we're not going to set up a DNS. Okay, now theoretically we should be able to ping each other. If you click on the desktop and you go on command prompt, and since we are on PC1, we should be able to ping PC0. If you just go and ping 192.168.1.3, we should be able to ping, and we are pinging PC0 because it's in the same broadcast network. I'm going to show you how you can configure the router and the switch in two different ways. The easiest way is the first one, which I'm going to show you, but this is not recommended if you are going to be doing the CCNA. If you are going to be doing the CCNA, then you need to do this in the CLI. So the first option that I'm going to show you is through the GUI, and we're going to configure it through the GUI, and then after that we'll configure it through the CLI. So if you just click on the router, this pop-up will come, and we are going to click on GUI gigabit 0/0, and we are going to click on to set it up, and you can see here it comes on, and we're going to put the IP address 192.168.1.1. subnet mask comes in automatically, And as you can see, once we are typing, the commands will be shown on it will show you the equivalent iOS commands of what you're putting in the GUI here. All right. And if we just minimize this, and if we go back, okay, we've already closed it. For example, if we go back here on our PC0, we go to desktop, command prompt, and we ping 192.168.1.1. we should be able to ping 192.168.1.1. Now, just to show you, I'm gonna click back on this router port status. I'm gonna click on off, and we're gonna go back to the PC, and we're gonna try and ping the same. And as you can see, now we are not able to ping that router because we have shut down the interface on the GUI. And I'm just gonna enable it. And once I enable it, it's gonna go through the 50 seconds of spanning tree protocol, so that will take some time to come up, so that's fine. So that's the first way of configuring the router using the GUI. But if you're gonna be doing the CCNA, you will not be using the GUI at all. I would recommend not to use the GUI. I would recommend that you use the command line. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just going to wipe out all the config that we have done on this router. All right, and I'm gonna click on the router, and I'm gonna go to CLI. All right, CLI. Now I'm on the CLI. I'm just gonna do a show IP interface brief just to make sure that there is nothing connected on there's nothing configured on my interface gigabit 0/0. And I'm gonna go to configuration terminal. I'm gonna do an interface gig 0/0, and I'm gonna do an IP address 192.168.1.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.0, and I'm gonna do a no chat. You notice the interface comes up. I'm gonna do a do. So if you are inside the config interface mode, you cannot run your show commands. You have to start with a do, then show IP interface brief, and then it will show you that we've put in the IP address and whatnot. And then I'm just gonna wait for the 50 seconds for this to pass through. And once that is clear, if on our router, we should be able to ping the PCs 192.168.1.3, and we can also ping the .4. Great, fantastic. Now we have reachability. Now we'll move on to the switch. The switch, just the same. There's two ways of configuring the switch, and we are just going to come here now on the switch. What we are going to do is we are going to set, since everything is in the default VLAN interface, is in the default VLAN 1. If you show VLAN, if you do a show VLANs brief, we can see that we have the default VLAN 1, and these are the default VLANs that come in. So we're gonna go into the configuration terminal and do an interface VLAN 1, and we're gonna give it an IP address that we want to give it, which is 192.168.1.2. IP address 192.168.1.2. the subnet mask of /24, and by default this interface VLAN 1 is not shut, but we're just gonna issue the no shut command. I guess in this case it was shut, and once we do this, we should be able to reach the other IP addresses in the same broadcast domain, which is .1.1. We can ping our two PCs, and we can ping our two PCs. So this is a straightforward way where you can install Packet Tracer. This is how you can install the Packet Tracer. And once you install it, this is how you can run your demo labs. On this is enough for you to run the CCNA hassle-free. You don't have to import any external images or of that sort, because what you need is already in here: the Cisco routers that you need, the Cisco switches, and the endpoint devices for you to test your reachability. You have everything in this Cisco Packet Tracer for you to be able to run your CCNA routing and switching and everything in between. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you again next time.